Hello again, I am Blunty. I've spoken a lot recently about my return to Fallout 76 to find it thriving, much to my surprise, fun and packed with content. And I've also spoken about how I expect the new Fallout TV show might make some people curious about the games, or indeed return to the games after many years away, as I have done. Well, if that's you, I hope you find the following quick tips for 76 useful as you start a new, slightly irradiated Wasteland adventure. Number 1, and you'll have to keep count from here on in because I haven't numbered this list apparently. I'm just looking at my notes. This is the only one I put a number next to. Oh well. Number 1, use the social menu to join public teams. Now, joining a casual team gives you bonus XP, and they're designed to be casual. You don't even have to say a word to your teammates. You don't have to group up with them. You don't have to go join them. You don't have to help the leader out with whatever they're doing. It's just kind of understood that anyone who joins a casual team, we're all just in it for the free XP boost. There's no other expectations at all. No one's going to get mad at you if you just sit around doing your own thing. Just join them and play. You can also use the inspirational perk card to further boost the benefits of being in a team. And there are even other cards you can put into the charisma perk that do similar things. There is also a perk card you can use for playing alone, but the number of perks you get for using a team versus that, well, it far outweighs. Another handy part of being in a team, you get free fast travel to your teammates' camps, and that can save you a big fistful of caps if they're near somewhere you need to be, or to just shorten the fast travel distance you'll need to pay, because the further you fast travel, the more caps it costs in this game. So if you can hop, skip, and a jump across there by using someone else's camp for free, all the better. On the subject of other players, go into your settings, turn on Pacifist setting. The game community is unusually kind of chill and non-toxic, especially for a multiplayer game, but there's a few bad apples and trolls around who can and will try and trick people into triggering a PvP conflict just to stomp them into the ground or mess up their camp or whatever. So just turn on Pacifist and never have to worry about it again. You can always turn it back on again if you want to do some PvP. But while you're in the menus, check your mic settings. Turn it off, or set it to push to talk at the very least. Do not be the open mic a-hole. Nobody likes that person. The game has a survival-like eating and drinking mechanic, but these days there's no detrimental effect from just letting your hunger and thirst bottom out. But you can just ignore this mechanic if you don't want to worry about it. But I suggest you don't, because eating and drinking almost anything comes with some kind of temporary buff anyway, so keep an eye on that. There's even weapon perks that can boost your DPS noticeably just for being well fed. I mainly use corn soup. I keep a small farm at base especially for it, among other things. It's super easy to make. It's just corn and water. It feels both hunger and thirst at the same time. It gives you a little burst of HP regeneration, and, best of all, it gives you +3 action point regeneration for the next 13 minutes, and that is a very useful thing to have active. Just don't make too much corn soup at once. I know it's tempting, just make a big stockpile, but it does spoil over time, as does all the other crafted food. Finding locations and having them properly marked on your map for fast travel and things like that, or just, navigation, is next to vital in this game. To help you find locations, you can climb up watchtowers and survey the surrounding area to help mark out new locations on your map. Once you know there's something to go find, you can just go there and unlock it properly, and from that point on, it will be a waypoint for fast travel. If you find this pipe, sniff the pipe. Also, drink the vintage moonshine. If you find a broken camera, keep one. You can fix it and use it. You can craft film for it, just like you're crafting ammo for a gun. It's very useful for a fistful of side quests. Failing that, if you find Skippy here before you find a camera, have a chat to him. He'll hook you up. Use the Tag for Search function to help ID junk you need for crafting and repairs. This system will put a little magnifying glass next to the items that contain those elements. It'll help you learn which items deliver what materials. Use photo mode, and I'm not talking about the camera we just spoke about, that's a different thing, but the actual in-game photo mode, which you can activate from the map screen. The game uses your snaps that you take in photo mode for load screens, which is really quite fun. Don't sweat too much about the perks and special distribution stuff as you level up. Just use whatever seems useful. You can always freely respec if things aren't working out for you. At level 25, you'll unlock this thing, which you can pop down at your camp to respec your special points at any time you like. Even save presets so you can swap between builds. Maybe one for harvesting and crafting, and one for adventuring. Which reminds me, I need to make my harvesting crafting one. If you are joining public events, and you should join public events, they're very lucrative and have great drops and many are quite fun, but if you were joining public events and you're still quite low level and feeling kind of fragile, don't focus on killing the enemies one by one. Just pop a few rounds into everyone you see to tag it, so you get the loot drop when a heavy hitter takes it down the rest of the way. In this way you can still contribute, even a little bit, and you maximize your chances for getting lots and lots of handy-dandy drops. Scrap down your junk and then offload all your junk that you're carrying into your stash box very frequently. Every time you go back to camp, make it a habit. Or to the stash at the railway station. There's always a crafting station for scrapping at a railway station. There's always a stash box there. Every time you pass one, make it a habit. This will help you tremendously with inventory management and carry weight issues. But every stash box you see elsewhere in the game, at railway stations, or in other people's camps for example, they all link to your personal stash, so you can use any stash box in the world and it links to your storage. Aside from inventory management, the other reason you want to do this is junk is the only thing you drop when you die. And while it's not crazy valuable, it can sometimes be a bit of a pain in the bum to regather any materials you need for crafting and repairs, especially if you've been on a dedicated junk run to get, lots of lead for making ammo or something. While you're scrapping things, scrap down copies of weapon types you use the most. If you're using a 10mm pistol, scrap down every 10mm pistol you find, because scrapping has a chance to unlock recipes or mods for that specific weapon, and you're going to want those to fine-tune your favorite weapons as you level up. Anything else you're not really interested in using, you can scrap down for the raw materials or sell for caps. Unwanted legendary effect weapons, the ones with the stars and whatnot on them, can't be scrapped, but you should turn these in to this machine here. You'll find it at railway stations, you'll find it at, well, there's a certain location you'll be led to, I won't spoil that one for you. But trading in these legendary weapons rewards you with a special currency you can use to add legendary effects to your crafted armor and weapons, or even just exchange it for RNG legendaries. And finally, most built-up camps of other players are quite likely to have a vending machine. It won't always look exactly like this, but it'll look something like this. There's a few different versions of it floating around. Players use these things to sell their unneeded items to other players directly. Check these often. Now, some people are hacking greedy with zany high prices that are just ridiculous, but there's just as many people who sell very, very useful stuff, like ammo, or weapon and camp plans, or cosmetic clothing items and stuff, for very reasonable amounts, often noticeably cheaper than NPC vendors might. You can even sometimes find stuff you can't get from NPC vendors in these things that people have just gotten from events that you've got the doubles of, so they just sell them off in the vending machines. So when you pass by another player's camp, check out the vending machine just in case. And finally, well, always be friendly. Frankly, like I said in the opening, it's surprisingly non-toxic for a multiplayer game. Shockingly so, as a matter of fact. So, when you walk past another player or you're hanging out and you're doing an event with them or something, and event's just ended, you're all, checking out your loot, pop an emote, give a wave, share what you don't need, and whatever help or donations you got at a low level, remember that and pay it forward when you're at higher levels. A spirit of generosity is one of the most delightful things about this game's community. Be part of it. Oh, and one last thing, which isn't really a tip, but kind of a cross-promotional thing. If you want to hang out and shoot the poop, I'm streaming a whole bunch of 76 over on Twitch on the weekends lately, so come say g'day. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this has been useful to you. Thank you as always to the patrons scrolling up above there, who's above and beyond support. He is very much appreciated and frankly desperately needed. I am Blunty, and I'll catch you next time.